Today, I'm doing something a little different. The other day, this meme popped up on one of my social medias. What purported to be an old advert with the slogan, "Don't kill your wife with work, let electricity do it." Now, my first reaction was to assume it was fake. Call me skeptical, call me the fun police, but this felt a little too, for want of a better word, cute. It seemed like one of those joke slogans that get slapped on all sorts of cheap products that you find in touristy antique markets. One of those boomer humour memes, you know the sort of thing I mean? In fact, there are several products available with this slogan. Yup, obviously fake. Except, several versions of this actually give an address in northwest London. Wilston Electricity Department, 131 Salisbury Road, or is that Salisbury? I'm not sure, that spelling really throws me. Sorry, 131 Salisbury or Salisbury Road, London NW6. Well, that is in fact a real address. I went there. This is the building. So let's take a quick dive into the history of electricity in London. Electricity, as an everyday thing, came to London in the 1880s. There was no main supply, though. If you wanted electricity, you'd have to buy your own generator, which businesses did. In fact, they often made a bit of money on the side selling electricity to other local businesses. There wasn't all that much demand for electricity back then. There were few appliances, heating was by coal or gas, and the only real use for electricity was lighting. Quick interruption from me in the editing room. The main use was electric lighting, but there also appears to have been a fairly solid market for quack remedies, like this one here. Nothing to do with the rest of the video, I just thought it was interesting. Anyway, back to the point. Thomas Edison gave London its first purpose-built power station in 1883 to provide lighting for Holborn Viaduct. It was clear, if it hadn't been before, that this electric lighting thing was more than a flash in the pan. In 1882, the Electrical Lighting Act was passed. This gave the various local authorities of London the right to open their own power stations, or to authorise companies to do it for them. This is the origin of our Wilston Electricity Department. Wilston Urban District Council built a power station on Taylor's Lane in 1903. As a matter of fact, there's still a power station on Taylor's Lane, but not the same one. The 1903 one was sold to the North Metropolitan Electric Power Supply Company in 1904, and then they sold power back to the council, and the council sold it to their local residents. This apparently cumbersome arrangement was a result of improvements in technology. The early power stations were weedy things, not able to cover large distances. There was no consistency of supply, so no compatibility between different stations. The engineer, Sebastian de Ferranti, who was something of a whiz-kid when it came to electricity, had gone to work for the London Electric Supply Company and designed their Deptford power station. This was a large and very powerful power station, generating alternating current at 11 kilovolts that could supply a much wider area. This quickly became the standard. The older power stations were bought up by the big new power companies and converted into substations. The building at number 131 was an administrative one. It was where people could sign up for electricity and pay their bills. The 20s and 30s saw electricity become common and therefore more affordable. Appliances were appearing on the scene that made housework easier, and not before time. The First World War had seen many women leave domestic service and go to work in the factories. The age of the Edwardian townhouse with its full domestic staff had come to an end. Those who went to work in the factories were often reluctant to go back to being servants. So, in an era when electric appliances were cheaper and more plentiful, servants were rare and expensive, and women's lib hadn't happened yet, domestic duties became the preserve of housewives. Hence the origin of our meme-worthy sign. When it first appeared, I'm not exactly sure. I've seen 1936 given as one origin, which would certainly make sense. That would be a time when local authorities would be pushing people to sign up. I've also seen the 1950s suggested, but that's maybe a guess. It appears that the slogan was in use for quite a while, and not just by Wilston Electricity Board, so perhaps it was both. Well, I do hope you enjoyed today's video. If so, please do leave a like and consider subscribing for more. I would like to thank my donors on Ko-fi and Patreon and here on YouTube for your generous support. You are the alibi to the accidental death of my wife. And I will see you all again very soon. Cheerio.